Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are forced to take up our activities. So today we are officially launching a Bounceback program for TFF, in which we conducted through Uefa, Uefa assisted program. So apart from Mr. President, General Secretary, TFF directors, we also have sports editors around. So you are most welcome to watch this program. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning there in Zurich, but in Tanzania here is good afternoon. Dear invited sports editors, Uefa expert team, TFF General Secretary, including your subordinates, technical director, and the director responsible for media. I greet you in the name of our God. First, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, UEFA experts, team under Mr. Stewart Regan, and TFF Secretariat under our General Secretary, Mr. Alfred Kidao, for making this press launch possible. Second, the media personnel representing this launch. We thank you because you have a greater role to make public know what is going on in our football in Tanzania. But also we thank CAF for making this partnership, because through CAF, where we have this partnership, it's about 2 years now, or more than 2 years. The coronavirus has shaken Tanzania and the world at large, testing our football activity, economies, and society in general. So as TFF, we have to come with a recovery plan. This focuses on how to resume our activity after COVID-19. Thanks to our friends from Uefa, through Uefa Assist, who guided us on this Bounceback program. We are launching now through press. Coronavirus cases in Tanzania are falling as per our Ministry of Health reports. However, we are still required to observe the necessary measure to protect ourselves and others and all those who engage our beloved football game and all those around us. Therefore, by launching this program, it will help us to make sure that we fulfill our vision and to make sure that the football in Tanzania going to the heights where we have planned. Thank you all. You are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Are you with us?
The press conference, even if it's online, but it's so important that stakeholders talk together, that everybody is informed, and it's been really a pleasure to be able to work with Tanzania Football Federation, not only on the Bounceback project, but on any other programs that we are already running with them for more than 2 years. UEFA Assist is a which is launched by the UEFA President, Mr. Schifferin, with the aim to assist the elections and the federations around the world to be solidary for the solidarity and to cooperate, to share, and to assist. And how to do it? When is the best time to do it? Well, not only when everything runs smoothly, but when there are the crises, when there are difficult situations. So there the football world and the football organizations have to show the solidarity, have to show the cooperation, and have to help each other. So we were very thankful when the Tanzania Football Federation accepted our offer on the Bounceback program, which is really about how to cope with the pandemic, how to cope with the Corona-19 virus, how to cope while it is on, but how to cope once football comes back on the pitch, because the situation and the environment will be different, and we have to be ready for that. So we've been now since several weeks running this program with the Federation and are very, very pleased with the outcome. We were looking at different areas, and plan of activities was established, and Stuart will be talking about it in a short while. But we are confident that the Federation is ready to cope with the situation now, but is ready also to cope with the situation once the football comes back. So thank you very much for joining us, and I would like to ask Stuart now to tell you a few more details about what has been achieved and what are the next steps. Stuart, please.
Thank you, Eva. Good afternoon, everybody in Tanzania. I'm delighted to join you today for your press conference. We have worked, as Eva said, with Tanzania for about 18 months now, and we've been working on an operational plan to try and help improve football in Tanzania. And unfortunately, the COVID-19 virus has caused problems for everybody around the world, and has become a crisis that has to be tackled professionally by the people involved in football in your country. I'm delighted to say that your President and your General Secretary have really stood up and taken this challenge head on, and have created with us a recovery plan which is designed to help you recover from the virus and get football back in place in Tanzania as quickly as possible. So there are 4 parts to our recovery plan. The first part really is looking at the technical area, and your technical director, Mr. Oscar Mirambo, has worked hard to put a plan together which is looking at how do we get players, coaches, volunteers and referees involved in football activity again, keep them fit and healthy and ready to start playing football again. So we have shared some ideas for online learning, and Mr. Mirambo has put a plan together for the future, which is looking at introducing new competitions and coach education activities into Tanzania. The second area, we have worked with your league to try and look at how can we get football ready to start again at the senior level, at the professional, the elite level. And in Europe, this has been a big challenge. There have had to be a lot of protocols for safety of players. We've had to improve communication with disabled to make sure everybody is clear on the guidelines that have to place. So we also in Europe try to Tanzania League get ready to launch football again. The third area is around commercial and marketing, and we have worked with Mr. Bounceback as marketing to try and identify what activities and for news for the future. And then look at the efficiency and the management and administration of the Federation, particularly from a staff management point of view, to make sure that the staff are clearly affected, they understand what has to be done, and they have objectives for the next to work on. And included in this area has been an overview of your financial position. Probably one of the great challenges for football in this crisis is the financial impact it could have on all of the football federations across the world, and this is very much the same in Tanzania. So we've carried out a financial review, and we have a plan to try and work out how we can keep the Tanzanian Football Federation sustainable for the future. This has been led from the top by the President and by the General Secretary. So I'm very pleased with the work that has been done in Tanzania. You have a very good management team, some strong leadership, and I've been really proud to mentor Kidao for the last 18 months and to help him on his journey. That's what I'd like to say now, and I would like to go back to the President. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Regan. Stuart.
Uefa assist team or any requirements that you need from your media, please.
Okay.
Okay, Stuart and team, thank you very much for your cooperation on this Bounceback program, which we officially launching today before the press. So before us, we have a sports editor from different media houses. So it's time for you, if you have any question regarding the program, we are here to take your questions, as well as UEFA experts. Yeah, you are most welcome.
Any question regarding this Uefa 60 and the Bounceback program, which we are conducting usually in the period of, here in Tanzania, we did not have a lockdown, but about 6 weeks we are conducting this program with the Uefa. Therefore, if anyone has a question for this program, okay, you cannot limit even. You can ask in Swahili and then we can translate.
Kuna maswali hata kwa Kiswahili.
Tulikuwa na programu hii. Sorry, Eva and Mr. Stuart, I just clarified with our local language. As you know here, we are most using Swahili. Tulikuwa na program kwa muda wote ule wa kipindi cha mashindano yamezuiwa. Tulikuwa tuna programu za kutusaidia, kutuuliza maswali. Tulikuwa na vikao kila wiki kwa muda wa wiki 6 kuwapa maelezo. Lakini kama mnavyojua, UEFA Assist walishaanza kusaidia zaidi ya miaka 2 iliyopita, hata wakati wa qualification zile za under 17 ambayo tulizifanya hapa. Acha ile AFCON ya under 17, kulikuwa na qualification ilifanyika hapa. Ndio tulianza na UEFA Assist, lakini pia tumekuwa na ziara za mara kwa mara kwa timu zetu za vijana kwenda Ulaya, hasa Uturuki, kwa ajili ya programu maalum za UEFA. Kwa hiyo sisi katika nchi za Kiafrika tumekuwa active zaidi kuliko wenzetu. Kuna nchi nyingi zilikuwepo, lakini sisi tumekuwa active zaidi. Kwa hiyo walikuwa na sisi kipindi hicho na wameelezea, nadhani mmewasikiliza, lakini pia kama kuna mengine tutafafanua baadaye zaidi muweze kuelewa. Lakini sasa kama kuna mwenye swali lolote kwa wenzetu wa UEFA au sisi hapa, basi tuko tayari kupokea ili waweze kujibu au waweze kujibu. Mnaweza mkawauliza pia jinsi gani labda ushirikiano wao na wetu, kwa nini Tanzania au nini, vyovyote ambavyo mnaona. Okay, Mhando. Njoo kaya.
Njoo. Ulizia.
Uliza ili wakuone.
Wakuone mzee wa China. Ah, pete nikaa pale kuja tu pale pembeni.
Okay.
Hello, My name is Evans Mhando, Assistant Sports Editor from Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation, TBC. So what I want to know is, my question is for TFFs. How do we benefit for this program for Tanzanian football? As you said, presidents, this program started like 2 years back. So I think now as Tanzanians we benefit. So can you explain to us how do we benefit for this program from Uefa for Tanzanian football, especially for youth?
Okay, I think my General Secretary.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mwando. Yeah, the benefit for Tanzania Football Federation, it will help us how we'll react regarding these pandemic issues. As Mr. President said before, yeah, this program of Bounceback program aim to assist federations to recover after COVID-19. It means post-COVID-19. So how you can come back to normal business for this post-COVID-19. So it means with guidance from UEFA Assist, we as a federation, we came up with a specific smart action plans for this COVID-19. And in these action plans, of course, we have some priority areas, including the finance, technical department, competition, league development, and marketing and communication as well. So it will be easier for us when we come back to this post-COVID-19 to know the priority areas to deal with, because everybody knows after this COVID-19, all of us were affected with this pandemic situation. So we affected in the area of finance because we suspended all football activities. That's why it is not easier to generate revenue during this COVID-19. So after this program now, we know how we will come back to the normal business by revisiting our budget, to drop some football activities, to increase the number maybe of coaching education, because during this COVID-19 situation, we are not allowed to continue with the football-related activities. So now we planned maybe before December this year, the number of courses we will conduct in order to compensate with the cause we affected during this COVID-19. So you can see how we can benefit with this program. And before, it is not easier as a federation to react with this force majeure. So now it is a time after this workshop or after this bounce back. Now it is easier for us to react with the force majeure situation. As you are sports editors, you know some regulation in your competition. It is not familiar with this force majeure. So now we will go to check the regulation in our all competitions. How we can change some legislation in order when we get the situation like this COVID-19 situation, it will be easier for us to react with the situation. So there are a lot of benefit in this bounce back program. Not only that, but also UEFA have already started to give us the capacity building in TFF and the Premier League board as well. So now we benefit in capacity building because of this bounce back program. So there are a lot of benefits from UEFA team of experts, and now we have mentors from UEFA team of experts, mentor for technical director, mentor for general secretary, mentor for competition director, for marketing director. So a lot of benefit from the UEFA, and we think for the future, when we continue to work together with the UEFA, so we will get a lot of benefits. So I think I've asked you, I've answered your questions.
As I said before, that this cooperation or Uefa assist is more than 2 years. We are using to benefit for the training for our ExCom members, but to review our guidelines, our maybe even for the how many and the number of teams in the Premier League. Some they said that it is Vodacom who forces us, but it's not that. One of the benefit by working with UEFA is their suggestion, but their suggestion by going through the stakeholders to ask and then but to see how now it can benefit us or what can they do. But also have exchange programs for our youth, annual. Our youth, they are going to Europe. Even before this COVID-19, there's a plan to go to Serbia for our under-16 team. Therefore, after this COVID, we suspend all the activities, like training for referees, training for the coaches, training for the technical staff in our office. Therefore, UEFA come with the idea how we can come back after this pandemic finish. Therefore, where they come with a Bounceback plan. Therefore, the Bounceback program, we are having a meeting about 6 weeks, which our secretariat learn a lot how they can come back after this situation. But also, it is our belief that this relation or this UEFA assist will assist more in some other areas in our football the future after the end of this pandemic.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President, for the briefing.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
I just would like to say that Bounceback is just part of what Federation does for the development of the football in the country. It started with a very clear strategic plan that they now have prepared and that they are really following. And one of the priorities there is the development of the youth football. Because this is where, even if not everybody becomes the elite player, but federations want to make sure that they give the opportunity to everyone who wants to participate in football to be part of it. And they are working very closely with us on this, on the so-called pathway, which is a program which looks how to develop the kit up to the elite player or to the player, to the coach, how the people can stay in the football and being active there. They have done a fantastic job on the level of the federation together cooperating with the clubs. So this is one of the main strategic goals that they are fulfilling so far to real satisfaction. Also, they are looking how to organize themselves, how to really have an organization that is leading and could be a good example for the others. And also there we are very happy with what we are seeing. Another important step they are doing is how to be sufficient financially. Of course, the help of government is very important. The cooperation with government is very important. But they can't rely only on the government. So how to work with the sponsors, how to work with the media, probably later on with the broadcast. So all this is one of the very important aspects of the work that we are doing, and we are very happy to collaborate.
And could I add to this also by saying that the one big benefit for working with UEFA Assist is plan. We help the Federation to look at the priorities for the future and give some real focus on a small number of big priorities which can be planned and implemented for the benefit of football in Tanzania. So this planning is really important, especially in a crisis. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Naitwa Somwenyitu, ni mhariri wa michezo wa gazeti la Nipashe. Kipindi cha COVID-19 ambacho tumekuwa nacho tangu mwezi Machi kiliathiri wanamichezo wote. Lakini napenda nizungumzie wachezaji wa kike. Muda ambao wakiwa nyumbani wanatakiwa pia wafuate program za makocha wao. Lakini tunajua zaidi wanapokuwa nyumbani wanapewa kazi za nyumbani. Kama TFF na Uefa Assist, mmeandaa programu yoyote kwa ajili ya kusaidia kuinua viwango vya wachezaji hawa wa kike kuanzia wale wa under 17 mpaka wa senior kwa ajili ya kurejesha level zao sawa ili kuwaweka katika kiushindani baada ya mashindano mengine atakaporejea?
Okay, thanks so much.
Yes, Mr. Stewart, she raised concerning about the training for women football players. So technical director who is working with this matter, he will react regarding this question from the Secretary of Tanzania Women Football Association. Okay.
She's also an editor.
Yes, she's also a sports editor. Yeah, Mr. Director, Technical Director.
It has been singled out for the women football players, but actually the plan, it cuts close because during the pandemic, the activities were suspended, and therefore TFF with, of course, Uefa Assist, we had to sit down and put the plan. During the pandemic, we were actually communicating with the clubs, giving them the ideas on how they can keep the players active, that being one. But again, we shared a lot of exercises that they can be doing while isolated with the situation of COVID-19. But all in all, we are taking women football as serious as we are doing for men football, and therefore the programs which we shared with the women football players is the same program that we shared with the men, as long as all of the two parts were affected during the pandemic. To take it forward, after resuming the activities at the Federation, of course, after making an analysis of what happened exactly after sharing with the clubs and the programs, then we are in a position of sharing again with the clubs during this preparation time of resuming the league, to make sure that they do things in a very proper way, knowing that these players, they spend a lot of time doing isolated training, which actually it doesn't show the realistic way of football itself, because if at all you are training alone, it means that we are just working only in one part of the factors of performance, and therefore we said the players are going to be fit, well and good, but again, the clubs where these players belong, they should now focus on all other factors of performance to make sure that these players, when we kick off the league again on 29th, they are ready to compete before when we went to at least the challenge of the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Technical Director.
Any other questions? Even for UEFA? Waulize kwa nini Tanzania? Waulize. Ndio kuna maswali ya kuuliza, mengine mkiwa kule kwenye vyombo vyenu, lakini mkiwauliza kwa nini wanasisitiza Tanzania? Kwa nini hawasisitizi Uganda? Walishauri pamoja na sisi. In fact, wao walipita wakauliza wadau wadau wengi sana wakazungumzia, waandishi wa habari kabla ya kikao chetu na kamati ya utendaji. So using our local language, but we'll tell you what we are talking. Wakapewa maelezo kwamba ligi inakuwa ngumu kwa sababu timu ni nyingi, sijui nini, lakini pia na wadau wetu wa vyombo moja wapo ni Azam Broadcasting, kwamba hata kuzionyesha zile mechi inakuwa tabu kwa sababu ni nyingi. Na sisi wakatuuliza, tukawaambia sababu ya kuziongeza hizo timu. Tukawaambia tuliongeza timu kwa sababu wakati sisi tunaingia ilikuwa hatuqualify mashindano yoyote. Kwa hiyo ikawa sisi ligi yetu inakaa miezi miwili, tunaambiwa sijui kuna dirisha dogo, watu hawachezi, ni usajili tu, lakini ligi inaisha mapema. Kwenye kujadiliana ndio tukaona, je, hilo sasa lipo? Halipo, kwa sababu tumequalify AFCON. Sasa hivi sisi tunacheza qualification pia ya AFCON, tusha qualify chani, tumeingia group stage ya qualification ya World Cup ya 2022. Kipindi cha nyuma saizi kote mashindano yote tumetolewa. Kwa hiyo tukafikiria sasa hii ni changamoto ambayo imetupa fursa nyingine. Kwa hiyo sisi tukachukua hayo mawazo yao, lakini na ya kwetu ndio tukaamua tupunguze timu, kwa sababu ili tuweze kupata muda wa timu kucheza ligi kwa utaratibu mzuri, lakini pia na kuweza kushiriki mashindano hayo ambayo walikuwa hatushiriki mwanzoni. Kwa hiyo ina maana faida ya sisi kushiriki mashindano mengi ya nje imetuletea changamoto hiyo, lakini pia sio mashindano hayo kuingia tu. Sisi kwa uongozi wote toka tumeingia hatujaskipu mashindano yote yanayotakiwa sisi tushiriki. Aidha ni ya vijana wa kike au wa kiume au yoyote yale. Tumekuwa tunashiriki moja kwa moja, kwa sababu tunaamini kwamba mabadiliko hawezi kufanyika kwa kuchagua. Leo unacheza under 20, unasimama unakwenda kwenye senior team, wakati hujacheza under 16, hujacheza under 17, hujacheza under 15. Kwa hiyo yote hayo ndio tukajadili kwa ajili ya kupunguza timu. Lakini wao katika mojawapo ya observation walizokuja nazo ilikuwa ni hizo.
Like for 15 years I think. We're not sticking for long time for one, not like 16 teams for long time. Because of course hiyo siku 16 kwa miaka fulani tukaongezea hatukai sehemu moja. Kwa na mpangani kama TFF ikakaa muda mrefu. Ukiangalia kwa Premier League mfano, wapo timu ya 20 toka mwaka 92. Lakini sisi tukiangalia kutoka mwaka 2006 mpaka sasa hivi, yaani tumekuwa timu 12, timu 14, timu 16, timu 18. Yaani wanapopendeza watu tumekuwa tukiumba hapo. Kwa nini tusibaki kama tunakuja timu 16 ikawa muda mrefu je tukabaki kwa hivyo?
Ndio nasema sisi tutabaki na hizo timu 16 kwa sababu tuna uhakika mashindano yote sisi tutashiriki. Huko nyuma watu walikuwa hawana uhakika, na huko nyuma usiniulize mimi. Mimi niulize kipindi changu hiki. Kwamba nimeingia nikakuta timu 16, tukaona timu 16 wachezaji wetu hawapati michezo ile ambayo inatakiwa. Angalau wacheze michezo 30, lakini tukaintroduce FA. Angalau kuona hilo linahitajika, kwa sababu ujue na nyinyi mmekuwa mna creme sana. Hata sasa hivi tukitoka hapa kuna mwingine atauliza Taifa Cup. Hivi niambie leo Taifa Cup na under 17 ya mikoa yote na under 15 ya mikoa yote, ipi ambayo ina add value kwenye mpira wetu wa sasa hivi? Na nimezungumza wazi katika kipindi changu, nizungumzeni Taifa Cup wala msitegemee kwa Taifa Cup itarudi wale akiwa rais wa TFF, kwa sababu tayari na vitu vingine vinachezwa kama Taifa Cup tu, lakini mkitaka amueni tu 16 10 Taifa Cup au nini ili mlipende hilo jina mnaloita. Lakini sisi hapa tunatengeneza kutokana na mipango yetu na kuangalia mipango gani. Tukisema Uingereza washakwenda kipindi hiki wamepita nyuma huko sana. Zaidi ya miaka 50 wameshapitia huko. Na sisi sasa hivi ndio tunakwenda huko. Lakini nasema katika sasa hivi tutaendelea kwa sababu nina uhakika hamna mashindano ambayo tutaacha kushiriki, lakini pia yani kushiriki ile initial stage, lakini pia nina hakika tutaqualify. Katika kipindi chetu tu hiki tuna trophy 9 ambazo tumezipata kwa miaka miwili. Sasa hivi umeongezeka mwaka wa 3, bado hatujaongeza nyingine, lakini kama sababu mashindano yamesimama, mashindano yakiendelea tungeweza kupata trophy nyingine. Kwa hiyo hili swala la vilabu wala lisiwape ni kupita. Hata serikalini huko kuna rais akija anaongeza mawaziri wanakuwa 31, baraza lake linakuwa kubwa, mwingine anapunguza, lakini mmeona hata neki imepunguzwa, ilikuwa kila wilaya, sasa hivi kila mkoa. Kwa hiyo inategemea na mawazo na maono ya ule uongozi ulioko kwenye uongozi kuhakikisha kwamba inafikia yale malengo yake aliyoyataka.
Yes, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stewart, are you hear me?
Eva?
Yes. When you came for the leadership retreat, one of the area we discussed is about the league development, and together we agreed with the Uefa team of experts to have the number of 16 teams in the Premier League for season 2021-2022. So here, sports editors wanted to know your opinion regarding this issue of decrease the number of the Premier League team from 20 teams up to 16 teams, with the benefit we can get as the federation in the development of football in our country. So, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you, we have been very keen to support discussions that you've been having regarding development in your country. When you look at Europe, you see the best teams playing against best teams as part of the strategy to develop football. This is because when players play against each other, it's important for their personal development to play against the very best. And therefore, if you have less teams, this is a good thing because you play more frequently against the better players. So we are very happy to support you on this journey. And Uefa Assist has an expert from Holland called Uzinduzi, who is actually working on this project and can actually carry on assisting you in the future. So yes, this is a good initiative. I think it's good for sponsors, it's good for the fans, and it's good for football generally to have this focus. Thank you.
Okay.
Let me just add to that, please. Sorry, let me just add to that. I'm very happy to announce that we had a very productive discussion with the administration of CAF, and we discussed the league program, because the CAF says it's one of the priorities that whole Africa has well-functioning leagues. Because what is the league at the end of the day? It's to bring the money to football, to the clubs, to organize the club, otherwise they can organize themselves. The league is there to create a good product that can for a sale, and that the money can be earned. So CAF sees this as the priority for the whole Africa, and we're working together with them on this program. It's very difficult to say if somebody has 22 clubs, should they have 15, should they have 30, should they have 18? It really very much depends on the country, very much depends on the level of the football, depends on the clubs. So every country must be looked separately and individually. The environment must be studied, and only then the correct decision should be taken on behalf of the clubs. The same with the system of the competition. You are saying in Europe we have different styles, different structures of the competitions. Again, it's something that has to be studied. Not everything can be applied everywhere. But as I said, the goal of the league is that it's a good product, that it proposes a good product, that we can sell, and that the football is well organized in the country, and it gives the chance for the development of the players. So, but as I said, I'm very happy to announce that we work very closely with on this, and it will be programmed for the Africa.
Okay, thank you, madam. Nasikia anaeleza sio kwamba kila kitu kinachofanyika mahali kiko kile hivyo hivyo, lakini pia amezungumza kwamba walikuwa na mazungumzo ya CAF kuhusu pia CAF tuko wanachama 54. Wanachama 54 wa CAF lakini kuna Zanzibar, kuna Reunion ambao pia wanaingia kwenye Champions League, wanaingia kwenye Confederation Cup. Lakini kutokana na ushauri wa Uefa pamoja na FIFA, wanataka tuwe na ligi kuu ya Afrika ya timu 20 tu. Ambayo watainject hela nyingi humo kwenye vilabu na vitacheza professional na vitashindana na Ulaya kununua wachezaji kuliko wachezaji wa Afrika. Mchezaji wa 6 wa Afrika ndio anabaki Afrika, lakini wa kwanza anaenda Ulaya, wa pili Ulaya, wa tatu Ulaya, wa 4 China, mwingine Asia. Kwa hiyo wanaobaki hapa ni ule namba 6. Kwa hiyo wanataka angalau wachezaji wa Afrika nao wabaki kwenye ligi yao. Kwa hiyo wanataka wapunguze. Kwa hiyo unaona kafu nao walikwenda wanapunguza hivyo. Inatakana na hali halisi ya kibinadamu. Ukibaki utaki kuongeza au kupunguza, ina maana unabaki wewe kama umeamua tu kwa sababu ya matakwa tu au kuamua tu kubaki. Lakini lazima kukiwa na maendeleo, lazima uende mbele urudi nyuma, uende mbele urudi nyuma.
President, kuna swali moja nataka nisisitize hapa. Technical director labda anaweza atasaidia. Ameongelea kuhusu issue ya wachezaji kwa maana quality players. Kwamba ukiwa na timu 16, maana yake anaamini utakuwa na timu bora kwa sababu wachezaji watapata nafasi ya kucheza kwenye Premier League watakuwa ni wale wachezaji wenye ubora cream, unaona? Kwa anasema baada ya wenyewe kuja hapa, hawakufanya tu kwamba walikuja tu wakatushauri. Walifanya vikao na stakeholders, walikutana na waandishi wa habari, walikutana na partners wote, sponsors, watu wengi walikutana nao, makocha walipokuja hapa UEFA wakati wanatushauri ile jambo. Wakasema kwamba inaonekana timu zikiwa nyingi 20, maana yake hata namba ya wachezaji wale cream, kuna wengine wanacheza Premier League wastahili kucheza nini? Premier League. Kwa maana kwa wachezaji 16, timu 16 utapata hiyo. Lakini kingine akaongezea kwamba sio hiyo tu, hata itamsaidia hata sponsors na watu wengine. Kwa mfano leo hii fungu ambalo wanagawanya timu 20 watakuwa wanagawana timu 16. Leo hii ligi yetu inatoa milioni 288 kwa kila timu. Kwa maana yake sababu 16 na udhamini unavyoendelea, hata timu inaweza ikapata milioni 500 kwa timu hii moja. Kwa maana yake value ya ligi yenyewe itakuwa inafanya nini? Inakuwa iko juu. Lakini hata kwa broadcaster, leo hii broadcaster aonyeshi mechi 100%. Kwa sababu sasa hivi tuna mechi 380, si ndivyo? Kwa maana yake tukipunguza tukibaki na timu 16 tutakuwa tuna mechi 290. Kwa maana yake, si ndio? 280. Kwa maana yake broadcaster mwenyewe ataweza 240. Yes, 240 tutakuwa tumepunguza mechi 140. Kwa broadcaster ataweza kuonyesha mechi zote 100%. Kwa hiyo ndio maana anasema itakuwa ni nzuri kwa fans, nzuri kwa klabu zenyewe kwa sababu zitakuwa zimepunguza idadi ya mechi za kucheza na kila mechi zitazokuwa zinachezwa za ligi zitakuwa ni mechi nini? Mechi competitive matches. Kwa hiyo ni kwenye ile ambayo Mr. Stewart ndo alikuwa na elaborate.
Hata leo asubuhi kuna kocha akasema kwamba yeye habenefit na substitution 5 kwa sababu wanao benefit ni Simba na Yanga, lakini kasajili idadi ile ile ya wachezaji. Kocha wa Alliance na ile kusema kweli technical director yule kocha wako mwambie azungumze mambo ya kiufundi au mambo ya kishabiki aache. Sasa unaona ina maana tayari kuna timu imesajili tu ili ifikie 30 lakini haina quality players ambao wanaweza akawa na uhakika wa kufanya substitution. Okay, another question.
Ni ombi pia. Mimi nimeshuhudia mechi za vijana ambazo zilikuwa zimeandaliwa na Uefa Euro Assist Uturuki. Nimeona quality of players ya wachezaji kwenye mataifa yote ambayo yalishiriki, Tanzania ilikuwa ni moja wapo. Quality yetu ilikuwa ni ndogo sana, yani ni duni kupita kiasi. Problem ambayo niliona katika siku za nyuma ni kwamba wakati tukipata elimu za youth, vijana wanaanza kufundishwa soka at the age of 6. So kama UEFA wana mpango gani kuweza kusaidia hili, kwa sababu sisi kama nchi nyingine zote za Afrika tunaanza kufanya scouting kwenye age ambayo ishasogea sana 13 na kwenda mbele. Ukiangalia 13 kutoka 6 mpaka 13 ina maana ni miaka isiyopungua 6-7. Kwa hiyo mpango huo wana mpango gani kuweza kusaidia nchi kama zetu ambazo zinaendelea kuweza kupush labda kushuka chini, kuweza kufanya scouting na kuweza kumtengeneza mchezaji ambaye baadaye atakuja kuwa ametimia professionally, mchezaji ambaye atakuwa amekamilika kucheza mpira wa kulipwa. Yep.
Yes, Mr. Stewart, he asked about the quality of our young players. So Mr. Technical Director, he will ask this question and then he will pass the ball to your side to add some inputs. You are welcome, Mr. Technical Director.
Thank you. One of the things that we have been working with Uefa is actually putting down the players' pathway. The players' pathway, which is going to define what we are going to achieve from the very tender age. We are talking here from the grassroots level to top level, which is elite level. So we have been working with Uefa very closely. As we are speaking today, we have already established the document which defines what is supposed to be learned by the players from the tender age. And therefore, for us, this is something which is very beneficial. For many years, as a country, we never had a players' pathway, which was a very big challenge. So we were not in a position to know what to expect after some times. But now, as long as we are having the players' passport, which is coming from our own philosophy, which is already also developed, and therefore, with the assistance of Uefa, we have again managed to develop the philosophy curriculum, which at the end of the day would be providing whatever need to be provided so that the players, they can learn from the tender age to elite level. By so doing, we are very optimistic. Now we can speak confidently that after 5-10 years to come, we will be in a position that our vision at the Federation will be fulfilled as long as we are now defining stage by stage on how we are going to reach that particular vision.
So, Stuart and Madam, the editor, he was there last year in the first UEFA Assist program, and he was not satisfied with the Tanzania team, or we can say the African team. But this year, I don't know, I'll ask him after that. Maybe he attended this year tournament. Therefore, okay, you can react on it. Is Stuart or Madam Uefa?
Well, first, I have to say that one of the priorities, as we mentioned before, is exactly the development of the young players, or so-called players' pathway. Players' pathway means really that you put on place philosophy, as the technical director was saying, philosophy which is unique for your own country. This means, when are we going to start to play? When are we starting to go and engage the players? Is it 5? Is it 6? What is the way we are going to engage them? Is it already competition at this age, or is it just touch the ball, play, have fun? From what age do we start to play competitions with the young people? What kind of coaches do we need? What kind of play are we going to have? Defensive, offensive? So all this is the players' philosophy the Federation now works with. What is really great is not only on the level of the federations, but with the clubs. For example, they are taught how to establish the academy for the talented players at the Assam club. And I am sure other clubs will change that on. So this is about the players' pathway, which is in cooperation with our expert, who is Mr. Roger Maichri. Roger Maichri was the coach of Swiss team who won the World Cup under U17 in Nigeria, on your continent. So he is mentoring the technical director, and we are very confident that the players' pathway and the philosophy of development will be very fruitful soon. Thank you.
Idara ya ufundi, si ndio? Lakini kwa maana ya hii action plan yetu